Open the cabinet.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, we're live. We've got a couple minutes. See how many want to join in with us here.
We are live. Hello, everyone.
We are live.
On everything?
On all the things.
On all the things.
Live on all of them.
So if while we go through all these cool sound healing tools, it looks like I'm holding it weirdly, there's actually 3 separate cameras because we're streaming to 3 different places. Actually more than 3, but
you are centered in all 3.
I am centered in all 3.
So hopefully it doesn't look too
And
funny.
since today's sound healing, I got my cool Hawaiian shirt with all kinds of cool notes on it. So I'm going the extra mile.
Hey,
I'm Hank, by the way. People don't know who I am. They're like, we never see faces on Goddess Elite live streams, and here's this dude that we've never seen before.
Right. Yeah, usually you hear like me, Courtney, Lori, and you see our hands. But this time, because we want to show you how to actually use these properly, especially the tuning forks. A lot of people like to whack them as hard as they can. And I'm like, don't.
Yeah, we call that killing the forks in the industry. And you can tell the difference between someone who does it correctly and not correctly because the people cringe when it's not done correctly. Melissa cringes no matter what. Let's just be real.
Right. I'm not a big fan on the high-pitched sounds. If anybody has any questions about tuning forks, singing bowls, with the pyramids, what else do we have noise making?
Well, we got bells, we got drums, there's rain sticks. I think I saw a thunder stick that you had with a cool turtle on it somewhere. There's all kinds, unless you sold it. You might have sold it already.
But if somebody wants to shout out what they would like to hear and see demonstrated first, call it out. Otherwise, we're just going to randomly start picking some stuff while we wait to see if there's any suggestions. We have Wild Moonchild here on TikTok says she wants forks.
Forks.
Well, forks.
Let's start with the most basic of forks. This is called a crystal tuner, and this is 4,096 hertz, and it's based on an earth frequency. We won't get more detailed than that in this live stream, but it's like energetic sage. So you can just activate a fork by pressing like this with a little bit of pressure and activating it. You don't see it, but Melissa's cringing right now. And then there's also, you can use an actual crystal and tap it lightly on the crystal. And the idea is that you use that frequency to clear out the heavy energies. And if you've seen that movie Ghostbusters, hopefully a couple of people have seen it, there's this one scene where Peter Venkman's like playing at the top end of the piano, and he's like, they hate this. That top note is 4,096 hertz. And a lot of the people who were making that movie were all a little bit abridged on things like that. So energetic sage, if you can't burn sage, if you're a college student, you're able to just activate a fork and clear out the energies like so. Any questions on our little crystal tuner friend? Oh, crystal's not included, though I did buy this from Goddess Elite. She has a ton of cool crystals you could buy along with the fork, and I believe these are $30 if you're interested in picking up the crystal tuner.
So if anybody wants to claim any of the items we go over tonight, put it in the comments. We'll write it down. We'll have you send us a message with how to send you an invoice. We accept Venmo and PayPal as well. So we'll touch base with you.
Yeah, and if you do get forks, they come in this little bag first. Well, sometimes this bag's gone, but you'll have this here. And I'm opening this one next because the crystal tuner has an extension to it. So you have the 4,096 hertz, which is a C, also good for the root chakra. Then you have angel tuners, which you have the 4,096. So this set, you get an angel tuner with it, but then you get the D and the E. And they say that this is Jacob's ladder, and it creates microharmonics that when you activate all 3 together, that it helps you to connect with your guides, your angels, and different things. And then right after this one, we're going to go, and since we're on the theme of angels, we'll do the Archangel set next. But these 3 forks together, you could clear out the heavy energies, and then holding 2 in one hand. Sometimes my wife calls me Edward's fork hands because of how many forks I can hold in a hand at a time. You activate all 3. I don't know if you can totally hear it, but there's like these microharmonics that occur, and those little microharmonics help open up like the theta waves for you to connect with your guides, angels, and teachers.
Wild Moonchild wants to know when the next event is.
The next event, like what?
Probably one of your sound events, maybe?
That's whenever Melissa decides she can put up with me making that much noise in her space.
I guess we'll have to look at a calendar.
Maybe we could plan one for New Year's or something, like a bath to out with the old and with the new type of thing.
Oh, no, just for my store. You know what? We have palmistry this Saturday with Gregory. So come learn to read palms, some basic palmistry this Saturday. Let's
Looks
see.
like you're reading something.
Oh, shenanigans on Facebook. Are you
Shenanigans.
familiar with the Mark?
Oh, yeah, my local comedian friend.
Okay.
He's harmless. So
I was
don't-
gonna say, do we
don't
have a
ban
troll
him or
here?
anything.
It says, nice hat. I stole a hat similar to the one from an Amish guy. He beat me up.
I don't blame him. It's a cool hat. I would probably beat you up too if you try to steal my hat.
Next weekend, we actually have, is that already this Thanksgiving weekend? I think it is. Holy cow. We have a
Sneaks
small
up on you.
business vendor event where we got a bunch of small local businesses vending. We have some sales and promotions for that weekend going on. It's our last psychic fair for the year that weekend. So next weekend is pretty jammed packed. This weekend's kind of slow with just the palmistry here on Saturday,
But any day, even if it's not a fair, there's always at least 2 or 3 readers and healers available. So even if it's not an event, still come on in and see who might be able to help you out. But
Mark's like Hank and Mystery Lady. That's
Mystery
right.
Lady, yes, it is. Melissa.
So the live butterfly, we're going over sound healing instruments, tools. Right now we're going over forks. Tank just did the crystal tuner, and you're doing the angel set
Yeah,
now.
I did a 3-piece angel set, which is like Jacob's ladder. It's a C, a D, and an E that create microharmonics to help you connect with guides, angels, and teachers. And then there's this whole set called the Archangel set. It's 12 forks in a set. And the thing that when I first got this in, I kind of thought, I don't know about this. How do they figure out a frequency of an angel? And the lady apparently looked at the ancient text, took the name of the angel, broke it down with numerology, and then made the frequencies based on that numerology breakdown. And at the time, I had a business partner who had worked with Metatron, and as soon as I got the fork set in, I didn't tell him anything about what I had gotten. And I just activated a fork and like, tell me what you think of when you hear this frequency. And he had his eyes closed, heard the frequencies like Metatron. So he knew what it was without knowing the fork set. So however she figured out whatever she based it on, I find to be accurate. And I will show this one first. This is my favorite fork out of the whole set, and this is the only one that's available individually. So if you like just this, you can get these ones. They retail for $40 because it's a flat fork instead of having this big long stem and everything. So they don't make as many points like this. But you just activate it lightly. And this one's called the Holy Host fork. And it's the combined frequency of all the angels. And my favorite one. And so in shamanism, we have a couple different words that we use, and I like combining this fork with phrases like Iari, Saiva Kenchai Hanak Pacha, victory and praises, call the lights, columns of light from the upper world, bring your healing here. So putting a little bit of ceremonial components in with the forks can go a long way, or prayers, intentions, that type of thing. And then we have Metatron. And the whole set, all 12, is $240 if you wanted a 12-piece set. Actually, I'm assuming they can hear this. Let us know if you can hear all the pretty sounds. Am I getting like too close up here? So that's Metatron. I can't pronounce some of these names, so we're going to avoid some of them. This is Raziel. And everybody should know this one. This is Michael.
Yeah, they can hear it.
And then you can combine them too, and then you get overtone effects. Shanissa's doing really good. She's not flinching nearly as much as I thought she would.
I'm ignoring and reading.
Oh, this is such great. This is like the sadist in me getting to torture Melissa. She's not running away. It's like a rarity.
Well, somebody's got to moderate.
Especially when Mark's in the house.
Oh, yeah, he's requesting Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I could play that on another set, the Soul Harmonic set, which I don't know. We may switch it up after this and do a couple other sound things and come back to forks, because I don't want to over-fork everybody. And this is Haniel, Camiel, and Michael. And then we'll switch to these ones. We have Raphael, that's another common one that people have heard, and Gabrielle. And when you do use the forks, you're hitting them right on this 90-degree angle. A lot of people will hit the flats of the fork, and I'm not going to do it because everybody will be like bailing off the streams, and Melissa's already raising an eyebrow at me. But if you hit it like that, it's like clanky. So the best way that I have found is you lightly activate them doing this, or lightly tapping on the knee, and then hitting the 90-degree angles, and you get the cleanest tone, the best overtones that way. And these are all Metavibe forks. It's 99.9% aluminum alloy. They're exceptionally accurate. And I've carried 3 different tuning fork brands in the past, and this by far has been the best one that I've carried, and I've stuck with it for quite a few years now. And then the last one is Sandalphon, and a word that I can't pronounce, so we'll just not pronounce it, but it's another angel.
Is there a Gabriel fork?
There was a Gabriel fork.
Haha, there you go, Lachelle, there is a Gabriel fork.
Yeah, Lachelle, I got you, girlfriend.
She's trying to instigate you to overfork people, so I might have to kick her out of the chat. Fire
That
her.
would be Lachelle's
I don't think
go-to.
I threatened to fire her earlier today, so I'm going to have
You threaten to fire everyone, though, don't you?
to... pretty much.
I'm glad that I'm an independent contractor. I'm fireable. You can just not let me come
Just
back.
Lachelle and Courtney.
So do you want to do a couple other sound things? Or well, let me explain. You're not going to be able to hear these, but Melissa does have several forks like this as well. This is called an osteophonic fork. Osteophonic just is a fancy word. It means to vibrate bone. And maybe you can hear it if I get close enough. So the whole idea with this one, maybe you can hear when I put on the table. Hear that? So you activate the weights, and then you put this on the body. And if you Google acupressure points for anything, if you have headaches, you can Google the acupressure points for headaches and hit the pressure points just for that. There's pressure points in the hand for arthritis. There's pressure points for sciatica, like when Anya, my wife, had our second child, she had terrible sciatica, and just one tuning fork session going on the acupressure points, it had gone away, and she still had other different issues, but the actual sciatica from that had completely gone away just with one fork. So like if you had to pick one fork, well, it would be a toss-up for me between like the crystal tuner, because you can just do so much with it, break up blockages and chakras and different things, or one weighted fork combined with acupressure points. You can treat, in air quotes because we're not medical professionals here, just about anything with a fork and pressure points. So
Now, how much are the Angel and the Ohm and all that fun stuff?
So the whole Angel set is $240. Just a Holy Host set or Holy Host fork is $40. And then we have like the Ohm fork or the 128. They're both earth frequencies. Melissa has the Ohm in stock, and I could get her these if you want them. Those are, I had it written down, 60. And then the Osteophonic 64 hertz and 32 hertz are 60 and 65, the longer ones. And this one you activate on the side, and you can run it along the lymphatic system. It promotes lymphatic drainage, and it also helps to clear the meridians and energy flows like that. So they all have their little nuances. And sometimes Melissa has this really cool tuning fork book. Do you have any in stock from Dr. Jamboyu right now?
Which one is it?
Human Tuning?
No.
She might have them very soon.
That one goes in and out of availability at the...
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, what I would say is you could always book like an hour session with me and have like a one-on-one tuning fork training, and I can teach you all about them if you buy them and you want to have like a more one-on-one application. And I could even get a live cadaver that could be a guinea pig where I could demonstrate techniques. So if you really want to dive into the forks and have a little bit more of a one-on-one experience, we can definitely arrange and accommodate that as well. So up to you though, Melissa. I could do like the chakra set, or we could move on to some other noisemakers, whatever they want to do. Because I have over 600 forks. Melissa doesn't carry all the ones I have, but like she could if you want to buy them.
No, I don't have enough room for that
You
many
do
forks.
have. Look at all this spare space.
There's a request for chakra.
Chakra. Okay. So there's 3 different tuning fork sets that say they can balance the chakras. The solar plexus because of how much they're holding on to other people. You can use that crystal tuner first to help break up the energy, and then use like a chakra set like this to help balance the energy. So this is the root. This is based on Earth Day, and there's many Earth frequencies. There's like the Schumann resonance frequency. There's the rotation of the Earth. There's the orbit of the Earth. There's all kinds of different ones. So this is the Earth going around its rotation. and that's for the root. Then we have sacral, which is based on the moon.
So Lachelle wants root and sacral together.
Your wish is my command, dearie. Lachelle and I go way back, so if you hear me like talking like that to her, she knows it's all right. I miss her. Last couple of weeks she hasn't been in when I've been in. Oh, I can just see you Melissa, relax this one. Okay, so I'm going to put the sacral down because this is one technique you can do. If you buy the whole set, well, one, these are all available individually. So if you just know you're the chronic empath, you can buy just the sacral or just the solar plexus or just whichever fork. You can buy just one, and I think they're $35. And the whole set is $160, I believe. So you keep the root in hand. You'll put down the sacral. You'll bring up the solar plexus, so you're balancing the solar plexus next. And then you're using the root and the solar plexus together. So the idea is you're keeping the root, you do root and sacral, root and solar plexus, root and heart, and you're building the Kundalini energy as you're balancing them. And if you run into an energy block, if you know Reiki, you can use like the power symbol, you could use the different symbols to help it move the block. If you have the crystal tuner, you can use that. And here's the thing, you can draw the Reiki symbols with the tuning fork, so you can incorporate the energy work along with the sound healing tools. We'll do that one more time together. So pretty. And now we will put the solar plexus down. We'll do the heart. The heart is, I should mention, the solar plexus is based on the sun, 126.22 hertz. And it's all based on mathematics. They can calculate what the hertz frequency would be based on its movement through the cosmos or whatnot. Now the heart is 136.1, that's Om. And if you wanted a 9-piece chakra set, if you get the low Om and the sole purpose, that would be the two on either side of it. I don't have those forks with me, but Melissa does carry them in stock. And it's just one octave lower and higher than this fork. So this is two different earth frequencies, the orbit and the rotation together.
Lachelle likes it.
Lachelle likes it.
She'll probably...
Well, you know where to get them.
Whoop.
Now, throat is based on one of Melissa's favorite planets, Mercury. And we all know how Melissa loves talking about Mercury retrograde. No. Maybe you don't know, but it's a running joke at the store.
Right.
So now we're doing root and Mercury together. Now, if I had someone with me, I might have them in a chair, start with the root, and as I'm balancing them, I'm bringing the energy up from the bottom all the way to the top. So you're just building that energy up. And again, we can actually hold a class if people are interested. Let us know in the comments. We can schedule one and give you a little bit more one-on-one training or book a session, and I can just teach you. So there's the root again and third eye, which is Venus. I'm happy I'm remembering all the planets because I sometimes don't. Together. And then the last one we have is the crown. And once you do the crown, you could actually hold the crown by itself and you go down the front of the body, so you brought the Kundalini up and then you balance down using the crown as the main fork and then rotating crown and third eye, crown, and throat going down the system again. And there's that. Those together. And then if you are really crazy like me, you can put all the forks in one hand. This is where I get that nickname from. You got to practice doing it, but you can totally hold multiple forks in a hand, like so. And then you have your one root, and then you're activating them all, and you can have all the forks going at once. Like so. There we go. So what next? Any questions about that, Lachelle, since you seem to be our spokesperson for who wants to know what? Let all your questions go to Lachelle, and she'll make sure she asks them in a humorous, funny way.
She does, and if I catch her running around playing with forks, I'm gonna have to yell at her.
Oh, I do have the soul purpose. So, soul star, rather. This is just one above the crown. This is like another octave of the heart. And think of it like with chakras, it's almost like bridging into the next octave of the physical. So like in metaphysics, you have the physical, and when you balance everything, you give birth to the cosmic physical. Like it's always another layer of creation and experience. But that's the next one. You would think of it maybe like the monad or the higher self, the oversoul, if you will. There we go. Can really hear it better. I love sound. It's so good. Okay.
Calm down now, Hank.
I know. Stick a fork in me and done. No. Okay, so what are we going to play with next?
I don't know, but I'm gonna have to go get it out of the cabinet since they're not right next to you. They're next to you, but not right next to you.
So pace your typing, because she cannot see your comments yet. Oh, the triangle.
Start with this one.
Could
since
you
I was-
hand me a suede mallet though too? Because I prefer that for these. But what we'll demonstrate with this is a crystal singing pyramid. They're amazing. And did you have other ones of these that you can offer with them or no?
No, I don't like what they sent.
Okay. So these are crystal singing pyramids. Each side has a slightly different tone. You activate a few sides, and then I like spinning them like so. And you can use them over the body, and then as it starts to spin the other way, I like tapping it a few other times. And you get better at catching it. And then over the body, you can move them a little bit. Now, the cords that they come with, I would recommend getting a little bit of a thicker cord. Melissa ordered some, but the ones that they sent aren't ideal. Maybe she has. Do you have like leather cord for necklaces right now?
I might. I have to go check in the cabinet because we
Yeah.
were restringing some
So
other things.
if she has it, then you can get like a leather cord and just have her send it with you, because I would definitely. It's a little bit of investment. So these are. This is $280 for this one, but this is 99.9% crystal quartz. The 1% is the poor little guy in the centrifuge of sweat that comes off, probably. Just saying as a joke. But these are amazing. And then if you imagine like moving all the energy and then at the crown of the head, flipping it upside down and just intentioning all the light from the upper world to funnel into a person's crown, filling them with like the Christ light, that type of thing. It's one of my favorite sound tools. I have 2 pyramids already myself that are my personal use for things. And it's also great to use at the end of a healing session to kind of feather out the aura and all that kind of stuff. But by far my favorite sound investment of all the toys that I have are the pyramids, followed by crystal bowls. If you do have a suede mallet, I kind of prefer these for the pyramids.
Why, so you can hit it harder?
Yeah,
Oh.
and you can hit it harder and drive your beloved Wilkanuna Panichai crazy, which is Sacred Soul Sister.
That one I think is the kyanite bowl.
Kyanite. This is an alchemy bowl. So like if you look at a frosted bowl or optically clear bowl, those are like 99.9% quartz. When it's something like this, they have the quartz and then they take the kyanite or whatever the other bowl is going to be, or not bowl, but whatever the other crystal is going to be, and they mix it together so you get this blending of the clear quartz as well as like the colored kyanite. And Melissa will have to tell you what the stones do. I'm a crystal healer. I'm certified even, but I just use them intuitively, and I couldn't tell you what's what. But there's a couple ways to use these bowls. Are you going to take, what are you going to do?
No, I am just double checking. Oh, I'm sorry, this was the lapis. I think the kyanite was the one that sold, so lapis, yeah.
So this is lapis lazuli, which is good for throat chakra. That one I know a little bit about. And just lapis in general is a really elevating stone. I think that one is good for really balancing everything. But specifically for the throat chakra when you think about colors, because blue is for the throat. And blue is all about your expression into this world. So you can tap them to get them going and then slowly go around it. And you apply a good bit of pressure. It's not like, it doesn't take much, but you do have a little bit of pressure. And if you have a rubber mallet, I like using those. You can use them on the inside of them. But she doesn't have any of those yet. But the suede does just as good of a job for now. Oh, look at the look. I wish I should have my camera ready and take pictures of Melissa's face.
How much is the pyramid?
Pyramid was $280, and there's one larger one in there, I think. Or is this the larger one?
No, that was the slightly
And
smaller
now,
one.
when you hear the price of this, keep in mind this is an alchemy bowl, and that's why these run a bit higher. This one's $925 for this 7-inch lapis bowl, but we're going to show you a regular frosted bowl, and they're a lot more.
Well, a fun
budget-friendly.
thing, Lapis will help dissolve emotional bondage.
Why are you looking at me like that? You know it's a good one. Like, she's making a dig on me. That's why I appreciate you.
I get to talk some shit on a
Yeah, you
live-
get to talk shit, because what am I going to do? You're an emotional sadist, Melissa. I'm kidding. So this is a 10-inch frosted bowl, and this is $150. Do you have any optically clear just to show the difference side by side, by chance?
No.
No? Okay. So the difference with the optically clear bowl, like, you can hear that? That's like the little texture on the outside. That's frosted. But the frosted ones, they have a little bit of bite when you're using the suede mallet. With an optically clear one, it's completely smooth. So with the clear ones, you have to move a little bit faster going around in order to get them to go. And once you get to, a 10-inch is a really good size. The smaller ones, you just have to be careful with how much pressure you use, because you can rock them off the O-ring if you're not careful. So you just want to, play around with them, acclimate to what you can do with them. But this is a 10-inch. Oh, that's a great note. It doesn't tell you the notes, does it?
I think on the full description it will.
Then you combine your sound tools. And they blend together beautifully. But with any of these things, you're setting your intention, directing the energies of where you want to go, what you want them to do, because any note really can do anything with the proper intention. Ooh, do that one more time. And so you can even just go back and forth. You don't have to go all the way around, and you can use that to direct the energy flow, pulling something out of someone or pushing something into someone if you run into an entity or something like that. They're very versatile. And we could, since you have bowls now, we could totally do a class on bowls. I've never done it because I have just been, it's so much stuff to get in, and she is the seller of things when it comes to stuff like this. She's got this huge store with the space to do it. So if there's interest in that, that's something I could definitely teach. There's wonderful techniques when you have a bigger bowl. You can do belly bowl, where you put like a 22-inch bowl on somebody and you play it counting backwards from their current age to 0 and doing like a life review. You can do a sonic foot bath. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
Lisa on TikTok said it's an amazing sound, and Mike said he liked the suede sound better.
Cool.
Hey, Brooke.
That's it.
Brooke down in Florida.
Brooke. All right, we're going to change
This
out.
is a non-frosted.
Oh, so that's just not optically clear. Cool.
Right.
But this one doesn't have that same texture. So there's that. Here's the O-ring. And I guess I should give you that extra suede thing back. So this is going to... Yeah, see, I have to move the wand a little bit faster at this because it doesn't have that drag. But you also don't have that when you're using it. So there's that one. And this is... Where is the sticker? I have to stop the tone to look. This is a Featherlight F. What is Featherlight? Is that referencing something in particular?
That I'm not sure on the Featherlight. Let's go back and read their description.
Yep.
This one is Garnet in G sharp.
Garnet and G sharp. Cool. And you can think of like all the notes are for the chakras. So C is the root, and then D would be sacral, E would be solar plexus, F would be heart, G would be throat, and so on. And then we're starting over at A. And ooh, good combination. I really like this bowl. Melissa, this is a trick. You want me to do this so I would buy these things.
We do sell the bowls, and we can tell you how much they are here in a
Yep.
second.
So the big 10-inch one that we just had was 150. Now this is an Alchemy bowl. This is a garnet G sharp, and this is 7 inches at 650. And again, the Alchemy bowl has other gemstones besides the quartz mixed in with it. This Featherlight one is 360.
I think the Featherlight's just because of how light it is.
It's like noticeably different. And if you are like me and have had to carry a 24-inch bowl through a door, I was like doing the penguin waddle. This would be a cool, if you're having a lot of bowls carrying around, would be a great investment. And I bet you the money that you spend on the bowls will save you money in insurance, since you'll have better medical health, allegedly.
We are not doctors.
I'm
or
not,
prescribing.
yeah, I'm not claiming to treat, diagnose, cure any disease. But you know, with aromatherapy, we noticed that that the sales went up when the cost of insurance went so high, because a bottle of peppermint is a lot cheaper than a copay to go get a medicine. And in England, they'll give you peppermint for a headache, allegedly. So you can fact check that on your own. But that's the thing, especially if you're local and you come in and you can like hear how they're interplaying together, because you're only getting 10% maybe like through the camera waves when you have camera waves. Through the camera, when you have these on either side of you and the sound waves intercross, there's actually this thing called acoustic levitation, where the sound waves, where there's a still point made by two colliding waves, it's called a node. And within that node, the water molecules in your body will start to spin, and it creates like different, like 16-pointed stars, 8-pointed stars, depending on the harmonics. And so like that's where the science starts to bridge into the metaphysics, because it's sacred geometry happening in the water molecules of your body, and you get that when you have interplaying frequencies like this. It's Lori. Hi, I was supposed to say you were there. We got a third
it's okay.
person.
Hi.
There's a lady behind the curtain.
It is the lady behind the curtain.
So, we have a question.
Yes, some of them are tuned. So the garnet we said was G sharp. Featherlight was what, F?
Well, they're all going to have a note that they'll, like, so when they make them, they're not as tunable as like as a tuning fork, where they're getting a very specific hertz frequency. They kind of come out and they see what they are. And if you happen to have one that is a popular frequency, like a 432, which is like a creation frequency, or the frequency of love, depending on people's points of view, or 528, which is good for DNA repair and that type of thing, they call them true tones, and they go for a premium because that tone happens to be in high demand, and that you'll pay a lot of extra money for something like that.
But yeah, all of the bowls that we have do have their notes. So you'll have that. They come with their rubber rings and the mallet. We do sell them. I don't have them on the website yet, just because so much stuff's been coming in so quickly and so many events going on. So if there's one that you might be interested in, just shoot us a message and we can help get that to you. If you do live out of state, we can ship. There's a few others in sizes. One of the last alchemy ones that we have is a sunstone and fulgurite.
Ooh, sunstone and fulgurite?
Mhm.
What does
Yeah.
fulgurite do?
Fulgurite is actually
Louder for the people in the back.
fulgurite is good for it's sand that has been struck by lightning.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
Thor.
always thought that was, I thought it had a different name for it, like sand glass, desert glass, or something like that.
That's a meteorite impact.
Oh, okay.
Versus Thor.
Gotcha.
in
So
the
in
sand.
case you couldn't hear, like lightning will hit the desert sand, and then it will create like a fusion of the sand into like what this is. So this is actually like lightning struck.
I think we got little pieces so you can kind of see.
Oh, before I activate this one is the note of E, and it's 925 for this particular bowl. What you got there?
That's fulgurite.
Oh, that's fulgurite?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, it looks way more impressive as a bowl. But that's
Yeah, it's not the prettiest of
It looks like
things.
something that, you know, can't, I don't know.
I know.
That bowl right there would be all, like if you are lethargic and you need a good shock to the system, some energy, that's going to be the bowl between the sunstone and that fulgurite.
Was that all the bowls that you had?
No, I mean, there was a couple more, but just like, again, a frosted or.
Okay, so you pretty much have gotten the gist of everything. So what next? Do you want to show metal bowls? But you only have one.
We might be down to just the one now.
Whoa.
And we've got a couple sets of the Tingshas.
Tingshas and the bells.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to see metal bowls or bells? Or are you all sounded out?
Yeah, let us know.
Now, if they really wanted to just learn about something, Hank, if they bought the E-tone of the Fulgurate Me and My Whole Body Buzz. Oh,
Cool.
hopefully in a good way there,
Yeah.
Brooke.
Well, one thing, I'm one of the store readers and healers, and I'm actually going to a completely virtual format for a bit. Today was my technical last scheduled day, which I
And he didn't even
for.
show up,
I didn't
guys.
show up. You're
He
right.
did not show
I didn't
up.
show up. I took a me day. Anyhow, but I will, starting after Thanksgiving, I will have regular virtual hours, and then I have a physical offers down the road. And what I'm going to do is I'll have a code that if someone from Goddess Elite is coming, you can use the code Elite, and you'll get a discount on the session. So I know that it was a referral from Melissa, so I can honor the referral, and then you also get a little bit of a thank you. Plus, my rates outside of the store are more than what the store charges, so it'll be kind of bring it down a little bit for you too. But I'm going to be just down, instead of lugging 21 crystal bowls and 600 tuning forks to come here to do a full sound healing, you just drive 10 minutes down the road and there I am. Or virtually. Though you don't get the full harmonic effect, all the sympathetic resonance, which, to explain that, like if you've ever seen those experiments where there's two tuning forks, they activate this fork and the fork over here starts to resonate. That's sympathetic resonance. So like if you have a solar plexus that's out of whack, and you have the frequency of a healthy solar plexus, by activating the fork for a chakra, it's bringing that chakra into balance. So all of that you still get virtually over the sound waves. And if you did sound waves, airwaves, whatever you call these, the virtual thing. And the other thing is I do Trio Life tarot readings, so you can see all that virtually too. So this is how I like using them. You ting them together like this, but there's also, you kind of like play them like cymbals, and you can do that with chanting Hare Krishna, Hey Krishna, and so on. So you could do it like that, which I've seen it used at like what is it called, like the Palace of Gold during their services. But I've usually used them just for meditation, doing like 3 dings at the very beginning of meditating, one for the lower world, and you let it go, one for the middle world, let it die down, and one for the upper world. So you're doing it once for each world. And it's a great way to kind of set the tone, pun intended, for your meditation. And then the metal bowls, some of them have these really cool, I think this is a Buddha in this one. And this is for Tibetan 5-inch bowl.
Yeah, that one's not automatically tuned.
Now, when you're using a bowl like this, one thing is you want to keep the palm of your hand kind of arced a little bit, and you want to minimize the surface area. And then as you're going around it, you almost have to make subtle variations in your hand to account for the change. And you're applying a good deal of pressure. There we go. The advantage of these ones too is they're more mobile. You can actually place them on the body and activate them. You could put water in them. If you fill it up with water and play it, you'll see that the water is going to start bouncing and it's going to create geometric patterns. There's actually videos of like monks all singing Om and sand bouncing around and actually forming the Om symbol and things like that. And you can see YouTube videos where they'll take certain hertz frequencies, run it through a sound plate with sand or salt on it, and as the sound frequency goes up, it makes more and more complex patterns. So all the different tones all have different things that they help do for you spiritually and physically.
So there's a question about the cost of the triangles or pyramids. And since there was yet an even bigger one, maybe you
Yep.
can play that one for them.
Yeah. And these are available. I'm sure Melissa can get them if there's interest in a larger one, but I have a 22-inch pyramid. It's like this, it's huge. But you'll see, like, when you hear this, this one's 300, and this one, the smaller one, is 280. But they are, like I said, like one of my favorite things to use. So I have them over the client. I kind of have the visual When I activate one, I spin it counterclockwise, and I'm kind of picturing all the gunk inside somebody kind of getting corked out like spaghetti wrapping around a fork. And then I'll move it off to the side, and as it goes down, I will envision all that energy that just got pulled out that the person didn't need, letting it go back into the earth. And then you can just go over the body and do that a couple of times, and then after you feel like you've gotten everything out of the person that needs to move out, then you kind of go over the whole body, feathering out the energy systems. When you get these, if you get a little bit of a thicker cord, I usually spin these a lot faster, but I'm being very mindful that there's a sign over there. If I break it, I buy it. So I'm being very careful. But compared to the ones I have, like this, the construction of the crystal quartz, because this is 99.9% crystal quartz, it's really good quality. I've seen other ones that I've had a friend who bought them online, not from a reputable place, and they were like real thin, and just hitting it had broken already. So like you really,
Ew.
when it comes to
That's
stuff
bad.
like this, I'm very picky. I buy from reputable people. I'm ecstatic that Melissa has them now, because Melissa is somebody that I would buy sound healing stuff from. Obviously, that's why I'm here. You know, putting my Sonic Shaman stamp of approval on the stuff that she has, for the most part, other than the cords. But she has cord material, because you want to get better ones for these things because of the investment. Oh, I love it. It sounds like the mothership landing.
So we have a question from Sue Garcia. Says, do you have sets that harmonize same frequency but like a F and C bowl but tuned to 432?
Well, 432 is an A, so like, no.
Okay,
But so like you can buy sets. Like I don't think Melissa has a specific set, but like you can get a whole like 7-piece bowl set and things, so she could get them in. But like 432, what we were talking about before, if you have a bowl that's 432, that's considered a true tone, and they are going to go for a premium. So if Melissa were to get a 432 and or a 528 or any of the other solfeggio frequencies, they're all going to go for a little bit of a premium, because the bowls are not as tunable as a fork. When they come out of the centrifuge or whatever they are using to sculpt the bowl, they have a much wider range of how it turns out. They get a C, but what C are they getting? And there's a lot more variability with a bowl. Bowls are kind of like raw power. You got to see, you're flushing out the root chakra. It doesn't matter what C it is. It's your roots getting cleared. With the tuning forks, you're getting the very specific frequencies based on the planets, based on solfeggio, based on numerology, whatever the set is, and you're fine-tuning the energy system. So I really like combining a good set of forks with because I have 21 crystal bowls in my office. That's why you should come to my office, right? And then we have 600 forks. We have plenty to do pretty much anything, but they're amazing combinations of sound tools. Did that answer your question? I hope. Or did she like run away?
no, I think she's still there.
Okay, good. But that one thing that you might be referring to from that question, like there's one particular combination. It's called the Perfect Fifth, and it's within the Solar Harmonic set. And Dr. John Boyu, who's kind of like the pioneer of sound healing, he had this whole idea that the human body could be tuned, because there was a book called The Maharishi Effect, and he was reading it, and this person goes in this anechoic chamber, which is this chamber that is completely soundproof. The only thing that you hear in that chamber is whatever noises you're making. And there's 2 distinct tones that are recognizable. One is the frequency of your nervous system, and one is the blood flow, literally the blood coursing through your veins. And so he measured his nervous system, and then he thought, well, I wonder if I could use a tuning fork and change the pitch of my nervous system. So he had a theory that just like an instrument, the human body could be tuned. And so he gets in his car, he gets a tuning fork, and he's flying back to the college where he had access to this anechoic chamber, and he gets pulled over by a state trooper. And this trooper recognizes a tuning fork on the side of his car and says, "What's that for?" And Dr. John told him what it was for, and the trooper says, "Well, wait here, I want to show you something." And he shows him a little tuning fork that he uses to calibrate the radar guns. And the trooper told him that, when I calibrate the radar guns and I activate that frequency for determining how fast someone goes, I can look at a car and I know how fast they're going, and then I can verify it with the radar gun. And John took it that day that was verification from spirit that you can turn the nervous system. But this is the Perfect Fit. This is C256 and G384, balancing the nervous system. And then he did all kinds of work. He's a clinical psychologist and he's a musician. So he had the scientific background plus the musical background. And he did all kinds of things where they were doing blood draws before and after sessions, developing protocols for different combinations of this set, for different things like anxiety and pain. But that particular frequency, he called that the card. With these two forks, you can do pretty much everything. Everything else is like an option. And that's a great combination. I'm a little bit biased.
Is that your favorite, Hank?
I like solfeggio is my favorite set. And that's like ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They changed ut to do because it sounds pretty when you sing it. But ut originally meant tonic note, and it was literally the note of the day. You meditate, what is today's note? This is today's note, and then you tune all your instruments off of that. So every day, the ut would be different. So that's why like solfeggio is really more a numerology set, and it's not really based on the things that I think it's based on. Now I'm really nerding out though, so.
Does anybody got any questions about all this sound stuff he's spewing out? Can he stop playing now?
She's cringing in her boots.
I know. But if you want to take a deep dive, book a session, tell me what sets you want to use, and you can we can have you experience those, and then you can get forks for self-care. You know, maybe that's a class we teach, tuning forks for self-care, and we'll have some basics in it, you know. That'd be something that we could do very easily online. Any questions though? Because Melissa's just like, for the love of God, please don't ask
Stop
questions.
playing the noisemakers.
She loves it though. Look at how happy she is. She's smiling.
Oh, yeah. That's what we'll call it.
And Lori's just like, wow, Hank is torturing Melissa. This is so fun to watch.
But if anybody is interested in any of the items that Hank played, they are available in store. Not everything is online. Actually, like I know the bowls and the pyramids are not online. Just haven't had a chance to get them up there yet. Just send us a message and we'll facilitate either pulling them for you to come pick up, or we can get them shipped to you. Anybody got any last questions?
If you really like this, tell us, and I'll make Melissa do this again with me. But we'll put her
That's
on
where I
camera.
get one of the minions to sit here and do this with you.
No, you like it.
Maybe Lachelle. Lachelle will sit here.
Oh, Lachelle would be hilarious.
Michelle will be singing with you.
She would be.
She's making up her own music.
Like, we might get in trouble if me and Lachelle are on a
Uh-huh.
stream together. That
Well,
can't go
what
well.
we could do, Sue, if I don't know if you mean when you say I want my own, not only through the phone, if you mean an actual session or if you mean a bowl or a fork, we can get you booked for a session. If you mean one of the actual tangible items, we could always like do a private call with you and let you hear them, and then we
Because
could ship it to you.
The store has personal shopping now, so you can book that online, and you literally have one of the minions, as Melissa calls it, running around with one of the tablet devices, and you can tell them to go wherever you want in the store and show you whatever you like, and it's like a personal, you have your own personal shopping assistant to help you out, and it's a really cool feature to have, especially when COVID was around and you couldn't, everybody's afraid to go outside.
And Brooke says her 2 cats are like intently listening right now with all the noise making.
Mhm.
We do ship to Florida. Absolutely.
Can I go with the whatever you ship? Get a big box. I'd like to go to Florida.
I don't know. Depending on your delivery guy, you might get kicked the whole way there.
Especially if it's St. Petersburg or Orlando. I mean, anywhere in Florida would be good, but those two specifically, because I got peeps there.
Yeah, I'd rather go to Arizona. It's a drier heat.
Yeah, you
I
would.
don't want the humidity.
Yeah, Florida's not kind to you. I forgot.
Oh, she's in Sebring. Yep, we can ship there. I don't think I'll be traveling down there anytime soon for a gem show, so we'll definitely ship.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Well, if there aren't any more questions, we're going to hop off here, call it a night. If you are going to be at the IX Center Christmas Connection, we will be there tomorrow. I will be there, and some minions will be with me. Stop in and say hi. But otherwise, have a good night, everybody.
Nike kawaii walkanuna wakuchepeni chekuna. Thank you, soul brothers and sisters. And that's the awkward part where I'm sitting here while they try to stop the stream.
Oh, right. Don't do something goofy.